Hi guys, it's Michelle from BeadNWire Beading. I wanted to come on and give you an announcement and also a quick tutorial. So the announcement is regarding the subbies giveaway. Unfortunately, we did not get 150 subbies by the cutoff date, which was August 2nd. So I do have 150 plus subbies now, but unfortunately, the rules were 150 by August 2nd for the giveaway. The giveaway was this beautiful lavender and purple chunky charm, purse charm. So no one won, and also the second prize was a $25 gift card to BB Craft. And unfortunately, I was unable to give that away because the rules apply. Subbies, 150 subbies by August 2nd. So I'm going to back off on giveaways for right now. I'm just going to focus more on tutorials and my passion, jewelry making. So I hope you guys still enjoy. I hope you guys still tell your friends and family. So today I thought we would be working on a toggle clasp. These toggle clasps, they come in so many various sizes and designs. As you can see, I have this gold one here, and it has little hearts there. And I attached it to this oval lava bead bracelet with some gold findings in between. And I thought that was really, really cute. I picked up a bag of these toggles at Hobby Lobby, and you can get them in different colors, different sizes, different shapes. But these are all the same as the gold, but these are in silver. I did pick up some of these. This is another variety of toggle clasp. You can tell it's the brass color. So the one I'm going to be using today is going to be this black one, and it has some dimension. It has some rope looking around it, and this is the part that goes into the hole. So I'm going to show you guys how I attach these to make a bracelet. So I'm using 49 strand beading wire. And this is like one of the strongest wires I've ever used. It's really, really sturdy. You can pick this up at any hobby store, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's. So just make sure you get 49 strand, because that just means that it's 49 strands that are deep inside this wire. And that just means it's stronger. And for the tools for this tutorial, you're going to need some cutters. Just any type of flush cutters that you have will work. And also some crimping pliers. So I have 3 different sets here. So the first set is probably like a mini set. You can tell that the grooves in this one is a little bit small. So that would be sufficient for a smaller gauge wire and a smaller gauge crimp bead or crimp tube. And then as you can see, this one is a little bit bigger. This is not going to work for the application here today, but I just wanted to show you that they do come in different sizes. This is a very large one. This one is my favorite. This is a Xuron brand, and this is a crimp plier, and it's real small, and I just think this one handles really well in my hand. But it's pretty similar to this one as well. You can see that the grooves in there are pretty small. So you're going to also need some crimp tubes or crimp beads. And since we're using a dark color to coincide with this bracelet, we're going to use this gunmetal color crimp tubes. I like using crimp tubes versus crimp beads. I just feel like it gives it a more secure connection, but you can certainly use crimp beads if you like. So the first thing you do, you're going to string your particular design onto your 49 strand wire. And you want to make sure that you leave yourself enough to play with on the ends. So as you can see, I left about 1.5 inches of extra wire here because I do want to have some to play around with. So the first thing you want to do, I always clip the end of my bracelet if I'm working on the opposite end. So I can take one of these little clamps used for office supplies for paper. You can use this to just kind of attach to the end of the wire. Make sure it's nice and snug, and that way your beads will not fall off. So I'm going to be working on this end, and I've already attached one of the crimp tubes. As you can see, I attach the crimp tube, and then I'm going to choose which side of the toggle I want to use, and we'll go ahead and use this part. So what you're going to do is you're going to loop the part of the toggle on as well as your crimp tube. You are going to backtrack and kind of run your wire back through your crimp tube, just like that. And you want to pull it snug. You don't want to pull it too tight because you need a little play in your toggle so that way it will be able to move. And you also want to make sure that you have still, you're not hogging up the wire on this end either. Okay. So what I like to do for extra security, I like to kind of run my excess wire back through the beads a couple times. And that just gives me a little bit more security. I will trim this off here in a few minutes, and I keep checking my other end because I don't want to push all my beads to the end of the stopper and find out I don't have enough to play with. So as of right now, this looks pretty good. I do have some play in my end of the toggle. So I'm going to take my crimper pliers, and I'm going to crimp. Let me see if I can hold this up where you guys can see. I'm going to crimp my crimp tube, and you want to put your crimp tube or crimp bead all the way to the back end of the pliers, and this is closer to the handle, and you want to make sure it's lined up and in the slot, and you want to gently squeeze. After you squeeze, you want to give it a little tug and make sure that the wires are nice and secure, and those are. And of course mine slid down, so that's okay. Then you want to take the very end of your pliers. There's a groove at the very end, and you want to place your crimp tube or crimp bead in those pliers and kind of give it a squeeze, and that way you are kind of rounding your crimp. And this makes it a little bit more secure, and it also makes it a little bit more pleasing to the eye. And then we'll give it another tug, and that's nice and secure. So we will go back and trim our excess wire in just a few moments, but the other side we're going to do the same process. You want to add your crimp tube first, And then we want to add the other part of our clasp, and this is the round part. We're going to attach it there. Then we're going to take our wire and we're going to run it back through the crimp tube. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and slide it through my last bead, my last 2 beads. Now sometimes this can get a little bit tight on the end that you have no more play. So just be patient. And it looks like it came out that side. So I'm going to snug it down. You don't want to snug it too much, but you do want to make sure that your beads are all nice and snug at the bottom. You don't want a lot of gaps. Let me get this straightened out. So, and you want a little bit of play on the end here. You've got to have your toggle to move a little bit, because every time you use the toggle, you're not going to use it in the same spot each time. So you want to give yourself a little bit of play. You want to make sure all your beads are nice and snug against each other and not a large gaps. And I think we're okay. So I'm going to go ahead and place my crimp tube in the back end of my pliers. And I'm going to gently squeeze. Let's move them back a little bit more, sorry. And we'll gently squeeze, and I can feel it connecting. And I want to tug, make sure I've got them all in line. And then I want to put the same crimp into the last part of the jaw. And I want to give that a squeeze, and that kind of makes it a rounded instead of a flat crimp. So there's my crimp. I hope you guys can see that. And it's pretty snug, and I am getting some play there, so that's exactly what we want. So I want to go back and I'll make sure that my toggle actually works, and it does. So we will go back now and trim our excess wire. See, that's exactly why you want a little play, because you're going to be working this toggle in and out of the circle, and you really need a little bit of play there. So I'm just going to take my cutters, and the flat part of my cutters are going to face my work, and that means that's part of the work that I'm going to keep, and I'm going to trim this off at the very closest part to my bead. Make sure you do not cut your main wire or you will have to start over. So that looks pretty good. Let's go down to the other side. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And there's my little tail. And I'm going to cut that off flush with my last bead. Give it another tug, make sure it is nice and snug, and I'm going to try it on for size. It's kind of hard to do this by yourself, but we will get it. Sorry if I'm out of frame. Sorry guys. So the toggle clasp will work just like you'll take the long part. Actually, I'll just do it this way. You'll take the long straight part and you will slide it right into the circle and push it all the way through. And then it will slide back and link into the circle. So that way it is nice and snug. So once again, let's go ahead and try it on. I'm going to try and do this as if I'm not on camera. And you know, just Just so you know, everything goes nice and smooth during your videos, and then when you get to the very end, that's when things start to fall apart. But that's okay, we're having fun, right, girls? Okay, so there we have it. There's my bracelet, there's my toggle clasp. It's nice and secure. I have no worries about it falling apart or coming off. And here is my bracelet. I hope you guys learned something from my tutorial all about toggle clasps. And stay tuned, I will set up another giveaway. I just want to give it a rest for a little bit and then we'll start again. I'm not giving up, guys. I really enjoy doing these videos. I really enjoy sharing my knowledge with you. Even though I'm just a beginner, I really feel like I should share things that I learn. I hope you guys enjoy and talk to you soon, and we will announce another giveaway very shortly. Thank you and have a blessed night.